Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 15 of What If Naruto Was Abandoned and Awaken a Kekkei Genkai. Remember to get this to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for the rest of what is coming your way over Anime King and Anime King 3. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, Anime King 3. Which I post what if fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, would you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, Katsumi was facing off against Naruto, as the match was relatively even between them, as they were clashing all around the arena, as Kushina was watching as she waited for the right moment as she saw it. Katsumi got the opening, as she was able to drive her Rasengan, tearing through Naruto's chest. As she whispered she could finally free her brother now. Everyone watching complete shock as her Rasengan obliterated his heart, as they couldn't believe what they were seeing. As Naruto was killed, his body burst in a pile of mush. The real Naruto and Hana then came back, as she had went to check up on Kiba. Everyone was shocked as Naruto explained that it was simply a blood clone, and know that he was back. As Naruto decided to give them a taste of his power, his chakra spread like wings on his back. Katsumi didn't stand a chance, as Naruto completely one-sided the match. She was tossed around like a rag doll. He broke her. Everyone was shocked that they stood no chance. Naruto also revealed that Jiraiya and Tsunade was there. He told Tsunade to heal Katsumi so that they could be at 100% so that they could fight. Everyone was shocked when they saw the legendary slug sounding and Jiraiya as well. But the way Naruto spoke to them that is what concerned them. He spoke to them with nothing but utter loathing and hatred. When Naruto was done with Katsumi, she got back up, proving that she would free her brother's soul. As Naruto looked towards her with pity, Kushina had manipulated their mind so far. As she came towards him, the technique that Jiraiya had warned Kushina not to teach her. But Naruto formed a rustling shuriken as he slammed it in her technique. Katsumi was about to die, but Naruto saved her life, as he looked at her with nothing but pity. It wasn't her fault that she was corrupted, as he was able to place his cloak over her, because her clothes had been blown off. She was confused why. Why was he doing this? It made her start to second guess many things. Yugito was a bit pissed off at him, but he was able to soothe her, as she thought that he had really died down there. After the exam, Naruto had went to the office with Hana, as Jiraiya and Sarutobi was there, along with Tsunade, as Naruto revealed Natsume to be the Kyuubi. He was gonna kill Jiraiya and Tsunade if they ever decided to harm her, as he pulled his blade, showing that he was serious, as they thought that he would just stand there and let them do as they please, even though Natsume did not need his help in their battle. As Naruto put everything flat on the table, he was really pissed off. They were supposed to be his godmother and godfather, and yet they left him in this village. The both of them tried to make up to him to teach him, to help him in some way, but Naruto showed them that he didn't need anything from them. He already had superhuman strength, and what would they teach him? He already knew the basics about Fuinjutsu and more. The Rasengan, he was able to change the affinity, so what the hell could they teach him? As the both of them were lost, as Naruto left, Sarutobi decided to inform them on what he could, since they were gone, for them to try and find a way to get Naruto to, well, at least give them a chance. As Naruto was making his way, Kakashi appeared. As Naruto was getting pissed off by the moment, it seems like everyone was going to annoy him today. So yeah guys, that was basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place, check it out for yourself. So this will begin this new episode. We begin this episode with Naruto and Kakashi. What was so important you couldn't wait? Another day to tell me, Kakashi, said Naruto. Naruto, although I'm still trying to gain your trust from what I did, we're still both shinobis of Konoha, so I expect you to show me some respect as your subordinate. As Naruto simply shrugged it off Kakashi's eye. As Naruto looked towards him to get to the point, you still didn't answer my question. Naruto, you know that Sasuke will be facing off against Gaara of the Sand. I still don't see your point. What is it? Said Naruto. And I think it is good for him to fight Gaara. If you're asking my opinion, it might knock him down a few pegs, given the high horse this village has put him on. Kakashi frowned at that, but you couldn't tell, given that he was wearing his mask. While I admit Sasuke can be snobbish at times, having to fight such a person in the finals is taking it a bit too far, as Naruto yawned at his words. As he decided to get into it, Naruto, I saw your match, as well as Gaara's, and with Gaara trying to protect him at any angle, I'm not sure if Sasuke can survive the encounter with just a month worth of training. That is unless you use your taijutsu style, said Kakashi, as Naruto looked towards him without saying a word. As Kakashi waited for the blonde to speak up, as Naruto then finally spoke, his tone had changed drastically. Just what exactly are you implying, Kakashi? Said Naruto. What I'm saying, Naruto, is how unstable Gaara is while fighting. I want you to come with me and Sasuke train for the month hiatus. And while I teach both of you what I can, I want you to show him that taijutsu style, so that he can copy it with his Sharingan, and use it in his fight against Gaara. With the ability of your style, adding in Sasuke's natural skill, and his Genkai, not only will his chance of survival increase, but his chance of winning will increase drastically as well. Naruto looked at Kakashi as he was unblinking, as Kakashi waited for his response. As it went on like that for a full 10 seconds, until a smirk came on Naruto's lips, and he then started to chuckle, until he burst out laughing. As Naruto questioned between fits of laughter, you want me to show the Uchiha one of my jutsu so that he can use his Sharingan to copy it, without even learning it, said Naruto, as he found it really amusing. As Kakashi's eye hardened a bit, I don't see what is so funny. Without the added edge of that taijutsu style, Sasuke might lose in the upcoming match, or possibly die. The humor wiped off his face so quickly, it frightened Kakashi. First off, said Naruto, I stopped you from watching my match with your Sharingan for that exact reason. Cheaters. That is all the Sharingan is to me. You steal in a second what shinobis and enemies, allies, take years to create and dedicate their life to. And that sick me to no end. That Sharingan spit in the face of any hard-working shinobi, and yet you're telling me to make him copy my style. Well, hell no, said Naruto. Let him win on his own merits, find his own goddamn style. Naruto, you are young, so I understand that you don't know all the lessons that are learned in the life of a shinobi. One of the most important is, use any means you can to get stronger, complete the mission, and protect the village. Naruto snorted in a disgusted tone. What's that? A principle set up by a shinobi, so they don't have to feel guilty when they do things out of the way, knowing that they have their right because they have their own morals. That's cute, but all it is a scapegoat. You people throw away your honor and moral for what? Power? That is completely pathetic. A shinobi should always hold their moral and honor above everything, besides saving another life. In some sick way, I'm kind of glad that Itachi killed his clan for ridding the world of such abhorrences to the profession and species. Kakashi's eye hardened at that. Naruto, you crossed the line with that statement, he said, and I will not debate the ethical and moral standards of shinobis with you. Now, I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to have to order you, as your Jonin sensei, to accompany us, and at some point show Sasuke that jutsu. No, said Naruto. For him to copy my jutsu after I worked so hard, you really think your order is gonna make me do that? Ridiculous, said Naruto, as he turned to walk away. Naruto, if you don't listen to me, I will report you to the Hokage of being insubordinate. Go ahead, said Naruto. I think you will be surprised the old man answered, said Naruto. And you just blew your shot of ever finding redemption with me, said Naruto, as he simply walked off. As Kakashi stood there for a moment, thinking about his action that he just took. Meanwhile, with Hana and Natsume, as the girls were sitting on a bench, watching the clouds, until two hands covered their eyes. Back already, Naruto-kun. You're supposed to guess who, said Naruto. As they started to walk, Natsume noticed that Naruto was agitated. Naruto-kun, is everything alright? You're so tense, she said to him. Yeah, I didn't want to say anything if you didn't want to talk about it, But you do seem tense, said Hana. You two are too observant with me, he joked. Well, Kakashi wanted me to go with him and Sasuke to train for the month hiatus. But really, he just wanted me to show Sasuke my taijutsu technique so that Sasuke could copy it with his Sharingan, to increase his chance of winning against Gar in the final matches. Both of the girls were shocked, shaken. Kakashi had the audacity to ask Naruto to give up his jutsu like that to the damn Sharingan. That is really low when Kakashi just forced on you. For Sasuke to copy your jutsu after you spent so long training and working on it. I never liked that clan because of those eyes. Hana spat out. Can't agree with you more on that, but I have a feeling that Konsu was stringing him up like a puppet for me to give out more of my jutsu stinks. They must have overheard the match of me and Katsumi. But even if Kakashi was asked or forced into asking him, that didn't mean that he had to give in to their demands. They weren't the Hokage. Well, you did do a number on her. News about that probably spread around. But enough about Kakashi. There are bigger things for you to worry about, like where you were gonna bring us to celebrate. What do you mean, said Naruto? Oh, don't think you're gonna get out of it. You told Kakashi that you were gonna take us out. Right, Hana? Oh, yeah, said Naruto. But he didn't have a place on mine. Hey, how about you guys pick wherever? The both of them squealed as he grabbed his arm. Next time, use a better excuse, Naruto thought to himself. Later that night after a wonderful date, as Naruto had promised to come by more, given that he didn't have anything to do for the month. They arrived to see Haku spread out on her bed as she was sleeping. The two of them relaxed in the bath that was behind the house as they just relaxed there. It was a rather beautiful night, and it got even more wonderful when Natsuman got out of the water and she walked directly towards him, as Naruto saw the water glistening off of her completely nude body. As a smile came on his face. With Yugito. She was currently relaxing in her room, as she had just finished taking an extra long bath that she had just finished, as she was wearing a pair of white t-shirts and black shorts. She also had a towel in her hair, as she planned to get some rest before heading back to Kumo. Are you planning on saying sayonara to Naruto? Asked Nebe. I don't really know what to say, said Yugito. In truth, she had been thinking about it the entire day. The man that changed her life completely, but she didn't really know what to say. Well, you could invite him over here and surprise him by only wearing a tiny Nebe. Yugito screamed in her mind. Is that all you really think about? I swear, Natsumai-chan was right. Perhaps, but that doesn't change the fact that there's a tiny voice in your head that is not me, that is telling you to go ahead and do something before the time is too late. I mean, you're gonna leave tomorrow, correct? The Nebe smirked as she saw her container cheeks light up. Yugito then heard a knock on her door. She was surprised. Who could it be at this hour? As she took her towel off her head and placed on the bed. Who is it? She said. Room service, a voice said. She was confused, but I did not order any room. She paused as she saw Naruto standing there when she opened the door. She was confused that he was here, until he whistled. Jeez, if I was really room service, I wouldn't even ask for a tip, because he already given me a show, he said. She was confused what he meant by that until she looked down, as her face got all red as she tried to cover herself in embarrassment. Despite the very wonderful view, I actually came here to speak to you before you left the Kumo. Can I come inside? He said. She calmed herself as she let him inside, as she closed the door behind him, as she started to walk away from him to go to the bathroom. Because of what Natsume did earlier, her little teasing session, well, Naruto couldn't help but notice, as he whispered something to himself, but loud enough so that she would hear. Firmer than Natsu-chan, but bigger than Hana-chan, he said. She heard him clearly as her face turned red. She fought by the urge to place her hand behind her. Oh yes, he'll be a fun mate for you, kitten, Nimby said, as she bite back her laughter, as Yugito slammed the door shut. He then heard her voice from behind the door. Naruto-kun? Yes, said Naruto. I forgot to change of clothes before coming in here, she said, as Naruto started to laugh, as Nimby was laughing as well, as he calmed himself. Alright, he said, as he made his way, as he opened the jaw. A smile came on his face. Oi, Yugito-chan, he said. Yes? Which color do you like? Red or black, he said, in a rather innocent tone. Both are fine, but red, I guess, she said, as she was unable to see the big grin on his face. As he knocked on the door, she opened it slightly, as he put his hand inside. Here you go, he said. What is this, she thought. It was too small to be a shirt, as she unraveled it. Her face turned so red, you would think that it was purple, out of embarrassment and rage. As Nibi burst out laughing, unable to hold it anymore, as Yugito held up the crimson thong in front of her face, something that she would never buy on her own. It was a gag gift on her birthday from a Kekkei, saying that she needed to get with someone, and the clothing like this would help. Her rage overwhelmed her embarrassment, as she shouted out his name, as her voice sounded a bit demonic, as Naruto chuckled as he started to back away, before the bathroom door was swiftly opened as she jumped out, crashing right into him, as the both of them rolled on the floor, as they wrestled for a good 5 minutes. Well, more like she tried to punch him, but he kept her at bay, as he was now on his back holding back her arms. "Come on, you don't have to be so angry," said Naruto. "Besides, if you were embarrassed of what happened a moment ago, imagine someone walking on us." She looked down as she realized she was sitting right on top of his. She instantly leaped off of him as she collapsed on the bed. "You're an ass, you know," she said, her cheeks still red. As he waved her off, "I was only teasing," he said, as he gave her what he really picked out for her, a pair of sweatpants and a short-sleeved t-shirt, as she snatched him away from him. That made him giggle. "So what do you need to talk to me about?" he asked. "It's about you going back to Kumo," he said. His tone was getting serious as he spoke. "And about who you are," he said. "After what happened at the exam today, I think that things are just gonna get more difficult." He was right on the money though, as she thought to herself. She would be blamed for Ariai's defeat against Gaara, and be severely punished if the Raikage was feeling up for it that day. As she lowered her head, "You're probably right. The Raikage won't be happy about Ariai's loss today." As Naruto placed a hand on top of hers, as he caressed her hand. "That's the reason I came here. But I came here for 2 reasons actually," he said. He reached into his pouch and pulled a kunai, a 3-prong kunai, with a special green tape around the handle, as he placed it right in her palm. "This is a special kunai," he said. "I want you to take it with you." She looked at the kunai, as her eyes roamed over it, before she turned back towards him. "I'll give you a hint," he said. "My father." Her eyes widened. "This is a Harashin kunai," she said. He nodded. "That was one of my father's original Harashin kunai, and I want you to have it," he said. She was shocked at his actions. "Why?" she said. She just couldn't help but ask. "Because as I said, your life will only get harder from this point on. And with a Kekkei as your only friend there, it might be too much. And with this in your possession, you can always call me for whatever you need," he said. "Whenever you're in a tough spot, just lodge it into something. And I'll be there in a flash." Literally, he said. She was still shaken by this. She had thought that after the 2 exams were over, they wouldn't see each other again, because they were from 2 different villages. But yet, as she turned towards him, "He's really amazing," she thought. As tears started to gather to her eyes, before he could say anything, she pulled him into a hug. He smiled as he hugged her back. "You didn't think I would just drop you as a friend, because you're going back to Kumo, did you?" "Thank you, Naruto-kun," she said. "You really don't know how much this means to me," she whispered in his shirt. "Not a problem. Besides, people like us have to look out for each other." As she looked up, tears rolled down her eyes. "Yeah," she said, happily, as he chuckled at her happy response. "Come on now, no more crying," he said, as he wiped away the tears. "On to the next thing," he said. "I want you to know, I'm gonna try and find your mother in the month hiatus, but I'm gonna need your help with that," he said. "I need you to keep the Raikage focused, happy, so he doesn't have to use her to threaten you. So you're gonna have to bear with it." She frowned slightly at that, thinking about listening to that horrible man. But if it meant freeing her mother, she would bear with it no matter what. I understand, Naruto-kun," she said, with a smile on her face, happy that he was still gonna help her this week. "Good, and I'll try my best to return her safely to you," said Naruto. "Now, you should probably get some rest. You have a long trip back to Kumo," as he gave her a kiss right in the forehead. "Have a good night," he said. He then paused. One last thing though, his tone became so serious. She wondered what he was about to say, as he motioned for her to lean in, as she did. "I was dead serious about that comment on your ass," he said. Her eyes snapped as he vanished in a swirl of purple flames. "Pervert!" she shouted out, with a happy smile on her face, as she gripped on tightly to the kunai, as it warmed her heart. A smile that was so content and wide was just there on her face as she lay in her bed. Time skip. 1 month later, Konoha was bustling with people from all over the Elemental Nation to watch this year's batch of Genins. The crowds were even greater than expected, as there was many people that were going to be fighting in matches that were legacies, and everyone was here to witness. The arena was filled, as the audience was shouting to each other on who would win against who. Bets were being placed, high amount of stakes, and the 3 Kages were there, The Hokage, the Kazekage, and the Raikage. Hokage Dano. It's been a very long time, Kazekage said. His face was covered by his robes. That it has, Kazekage Dano. Please have a seat. You as well, Raikage Dano. Sarutobi greeted the both of them, although he knew it was Orochimaru under that veil, and it's not like he liked the Raikage either, due to his past actions against Konoha, more specifically the Hyuga clan. All three of them sat and began a rather strained conversation concerning the exams. So I heard that the famous Uzumaki clan have decided to partake this year in the exam. The Kazekage said sounded interesting, as Sarutobi nodded. I've also heard that the boy that was originally the heir to the clan is also participating as well. I wonder who will win if they fought. In the end it won't matter, the Raikage said as he looked towards him, because in the end my Shinobis will be the one standing there, triumphantly. Because if she does not win, she will never see her mother again, he thought to himself. He had made that threat clear. Well, we'll see about that, Raikage Dano. However, Hokage Dano, I don't see any of the participants around. Where are they? The Kazekage said. They were in the waiting room, mentally preparing himself, without this noise. The place was really noisy. Meanwhile, in the waiting room, as a few of them lounged around their area, mentally preparing themselves for their matches, no words were spoken, as the place was a bit tense. Finally, the doorknob turned, as everyone turned towards it, as Natsume and Naruto walked in the room, as they turned towards the Sand siblings and gave them the courtesy of a nod. As Naruto then turned his head, Yugito-chan, he said, as she looked up, a smile on her face. Hi Naruto-kun, Natsume-san, she said, as she gestured for them to sit down beside her. As they were talking, he noticed that she was rubbing her hand. How are your hands, he said. His question caught her off guard, as she looked down in shame, remembering what happened to her in the month hiatus. Flashback. Yugito was running. All she needed to do was get them cornered, and then they were all hers. Despite knowing that she was a Jinchuriki, they were coming after her. That old council room should be around here, as she tried to remember the best place to take them on. It was the second week in the month hiatus, and she was currently training outside Kumo borders. She was preparing to rest up, when these two men just appeared out of nowhere, black cloaks, red clothes on them. They demanded that she come with them, but she refused, and then all hell broke loose. She had no idea who they were, but after a minute fighting them out in the open, she realized they were no amateurs. Both of them had strange but powerful abilities. The both of them were missing names, she noticed. One of them kept on mumbling something about Jashin, and he was strange. White slit back here, the other one had on a mask with green eyes. You couldn't really see the rest of his features. She didn't know what that man did to her though. The one in the sight, he had created a symbol on the ground and slashed his arm, and she felt the pain. She had then realized that he had licked her blood before he started that. As she put the pieces together, he was able to consume her blood and offer you the same pain that he felt. And he said that he was immortal, so that meant it wouldn't do him anything if he kept on cutting up himself. She maneuvered through the building and finally found herself in a large room. She was able to destroy that symbol on the ground. Now she had to make sure that he never get her blood ever again. Perfect, she thought. As she entered the room, her wounds started to heal rather quickly as she forced out Nibi's chakra. There was only one way out of this room, and you're both mine. Where are you, little kitty? Said Hidan, as he and his partner walked to the building following the trail of blood. The two of them entered the chamber. The only exit was the one that they came from. Suddenly there was an explosion as he had to move, as the rocks came dropping down covering the entrance. The both of them watched as she stepped out. She did not hesitate as she dived deep in Nimi's chakra, as the power engulfed her, as she transformed. As she took the true form of Nibi, standing tall, Hidan whistled. That's some transformation, but that puts us in a bind. You see, we need you alive and you transforming won't exactly guarantee that. He was saying this like it meant nothing to kill her. Was he that strong? If you think you can take me now, then try. But I'm afraid your only exit out of here is no block. I'll rip you to pieces, she said, as she opened her mouth. Darkness style, ghost of a sacred flame. A pair of spectral flames shot out of Nibi's mouth, right towards them. They dodged it with no problems, but they noticed the flames did not extinguish afterwards, as they landed on the opposite side of the rooms, both of them preparing to fight. She moved towards Hidan first, knowing if he got her blood, it would be bad. But before she could reach him, this strange figure came in front of her, that merged with its counterpart. Two black, fleshy, riding threads that had mats over their faces. Wind and fire combined. Yugito moved away, as the attack slammed into the wall. It obliterated it, going off the sections down below. Her eyes narrowed towards the dangerous man as she raised her paw that glowed. As she dropped it down towards him, one of the masks came in front of her paw and released a massive ear blast as it collided with her palm. Enough time for the man to move away rather quickly. The ground under her then exploded because of the fire mass. As she had to move away once again, she cursed. It was like she was facing 5 people at once. As the idea popped in her head, as Nebe confirmed it, she released another wave of flames as Kakazu countered it. She then stood in front of a lightning mass which she noticed was just hovering there as she noticed the symbols. As the lightning mass released a lightning strike, as she leaped at the last moment, she watched as it was about to slam right in the water mass. But at the last moment it turned and slammed into her as she cried out in pain. "You thought I would like to destroy one of my own masks?" Kakazu asked. "Kakazu!" As Kakazu turned his head towards Hidan, who was finished with his ritual, all he needed now was some of her blood. Kakazu raised his arm as threads came from it. "Earth grudge fear," he said as he shot towards her. With her large size, it was unable to dodge all of them. She cursed as they pierced right into her. "Seems I got you," said Kakazu. "Damn it, it didn't just stop. It went through my whole leg," she thought, as a trail of blood ran down her transformed leg. One of the tentacles dripped her blood on his sight. As Hidan licked it, "Jashin Sama thanks you," he said. Her eyes widened as his skin started to change once again. "Damn it, they're too much. I need to get out of here," she thought. She felt like a coward running away from a fight, but they were just too much for her. As she started to rush towards the wall to break it down. As he slammed the point into his thigh. She roared in pain as she collapsed. She started to drag herself, leaving a trail of blood behind her. But once again she felt pain racked her body as she was being slashed. So much so that her transform receded. "Kakazu, stop. We need her alive. Kitten, I know that you're tired, but you need to escape. If they get you, they're gonna try and kill you." Nebe shouted wordly, causing Yugito to stir. She looked towards the destroyed wall as she slowly picked herself up. She then heard fast footsteps as she turned. The moment she did, Hidan came and swinging his sight. It tear right through her clothing and knocked her back as she slammed into the wall. "I'm afraid there's no escaping," he said. He grabbed both of her hands and stabbed a kunai right through her palm. Something fell from her. As he reached down, "Kakazu, what is this?" "I've never seen a kunai like this before," he said, as Yugito was slipping in and out of consciousness. As he held up the 3-pronged kunai, "We've seen many strange weapons in our time of work. Now stop wasting time." "Yeah, we have, but this kunai, there's something there that I'm not remembering. I don't know where, but I have this recollection of seeing it before." "Damn it," he said, as it was rather frustrating when you were trying to remember something and you could not. "That's the woman then." "Oh yeah. Hey, what is this kunai?" As Yugito's vision was blurring in and out. She had always kept it with her since she got it. Naruto-kun, she thought, knowing that if she was taken she would never see him again. It made her mind run on him, his smile, everything about him. "Hey, I'm talking to you." It was a gift she spat out at him. "That's it? Is there anything special about it?" "Nothing special to you," she said. I could swear I saw this before." "Well then, I guess it's nothing important," as he threw it away, as it stuck right into the ground. At that moment there was a flash. It happened so fast, none of them could react on time. Hidan was sent sailing as he crashed through several giant rocks. Yugito was unable to see clearly, but she could see pointed ears. A man wearing a black coat, standing in front of her. It was him. "Naruto-kun," she said, as she thought it was just an illusion, and he would disappear the moment she called out to him. As Naruto turned towards her, his tails flaying behind him, he kept his face calm for her. "Don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. Come on, you need to stay awake," he said. He saw how badly she was injured. "Can you promise me that?" he said. She gave him a weak smile. "Yes," she said. "Alright," he said. "I'll handle this, okay?" As he created a clone that poofed right beside him. As the clone nodded to Naruto, as it stepped gently towards Yugito. As Naruto then slowly turned, boom, he was gone. Hidan cursed as he was pinned into the ground, a sword protruding right in his chest. Kakazu turned. "What the hell?" "Who the hell are you?" said Hidan, as he looked up at Naruto with a sword in his chest. As Naruto grabbed him by his throat, picked him off the ground and threw him, slicing through him and send him sailing over towards Kakazu. You guys are gonna pay for what you did to her. Who the hell is this guy, Kakazu? I don't know. Well then, for ruining my fun, let's kill this little shit. We need to get back. So, for once, I'm agreeing with you. As a lightning mass came forward and fired a burst of extreme lightning straight towards Naruto. As Naruto vanished, Kakazu looked around. Hidan raised his sight. Clash! Kakazu felt something poke him right in the neck. To his surprise, he saw this man standing there. Lucky Hidan's sight had blocked it. Sorry. Doesn't matter if he's a jackass. I can't let you kill him, said Hidan, using his sight to block Naruto blade. As Kakazu was shocked. The speed. It was ridiculous. He then looked towards Hidan, who saved him, as his head would have been completely sliced off. Well, he was not an ordinary man, but still, he guessed he owed this idiot one. Hidan pulled back his sight quickly. Despite its size, he was able to pull it back fast. As Naruto pulled back his blade from Kakazu's neck and jumped back, unfortunately Hidan's sight nicked him on the arm. It had 3 blades on it after all. As Naruto landed gently, he looked towards the wound. There wasn't any poison on the sight. As Hidan smirked, well, let's end this, shall we, he said. Kakazu looked towards Naruto's sword. He'll be taking that once the battle was over. Yugito then saw Hidan jump back in that ritual circle. Naruto-kun, she called out, as she could barely talk, her throat was so dry. But Hidan burst out laughing as he held his pike up. As Hidan drive the pike into his arm. As Naruto looked towards his arm, the pain was transferred towards his arm. It twitched a bit, but he did not release his blade. As Naruto's expression was the same, as he just looked towards his arm. Hidan was confused. Where was the pain? Where was the crying? None of it. That's a very interesting jutsu you have. Hidan, was it, said Naruto. However, if you expect that to stop me, you are certainly mistaken. I have went through far worse. Well, it doesn't matter. As Naruto sliced his blade across his thumb. Release. Crimson Ash. As he swung his blade, the both of them stood there as he just swung his blade towards them. At the last moment, the blade burst into flames. The flame came towards them at top speed. Their eyes went wide as the flame covered the entire chamber. But suddenly, an explosion went off in the far wall. Black flames appeared out of nowhere and hit Naruto flames. The two of them collided and twisted within each other, trying to absorb, as the flames of the Amaterasu were trying to eat away at Naruto flames. But yet, Naruto flames were keeping it up. The two men realized that they would not die out, as the both of them stopped their attacks. That was rather shocking, given the Amaterasu flames were able to burn anything, and yet they could not burn away Naruto flames. Itachi, said Naruto. Naruto-kun, you look, well, Itachi said, as he did not know the word to describe Naruto's new look. So this is what you really look like. I was wondering what you were hiding since the wave. Not even my Genkai could penetrate your genjutsu. I'm quite curious. Itachi, Kisame, what are you two doing here? Hidan asked. Saving your life apparently, Kisame said, as he was eyeing Naruto, while mostly Naruto blade that was still burning. What do you mean? We had him under control before you two show up. After all, it's not like he can kill us. Hidan stated. You seem to not realize who he is despite me using his name, said Itachi. This is Naruto. Uzumaki Namikaze, the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. The both of them looked back at him with two raised eyebrows. So we were fighting your target this whole time. Itachi simply nodded slightly. Well, you two can go after him, and we go back after the girl. 2 instead of 1. That's better, right? Said Hidan. But Itachi shook his head. You all know what happened with Jinchurikis that holds the power of demons with 5 tails or more. And it seems Naruto has already been reborn with the Kyuubi. Meaning, those tails aren't for just show anymore. Wait, he has 5 of the beast tails. Correct, and from what my Sharingan has been telling me, he hasn't even tapped into the power yet. Well, it still doesn't matter with all 4 of us. He won't stand a chance, Hidan said. That would be a gamble at best, Hidan. The Kyuubi is the strongest of all demons. Its tails were more immensely powerful than all the other bijoos. The power difference between the Nibi and the Kyuubi can be astronomical. Not only that, we don't even know his skills. Nor are you two at a level to fight him if he does tap into the full power of those tails. There are just too many variables to fight him right now, especially with that blade at his side. forged from the Kyuubi itself. Shinko Kaisen, said Itachi, as he tried to explain the situation. Kisame looked towards the blade he figured. Of course he knew that blade. Well, the Nibe will be your consolation prize, Itachi said, as he flashed away in astonishing. But he had to stop as Naruto stand right in front of him, as Naruto's cold eyes locked with his. So, you were somehow able to learn the Fortikai Kekkei Genkai, Itachi said. Your silence tells me I'm correct. Not that you need to say anything. The Hiroshin is one of the few techniques I'm unable to chuck with my Sharingan, despite it being chakra base. I have already warned you what will happen if you and your partner interfere with someone I care about. Make another step, and you die, said Naruto. As the both of them just locked eyes with each other, Itachi, just looking deep within Naruto's eyes, he didn't say a single word, until his eyes returned back to normal. He took a step back, as that surprised the others, as he flashed beside Kisame. We're leaving. We can collect her later. The moment he said that, Hidan and Kakashi dropped to their knees, as Naruto released a killing intent that was so powerful, it shook the crater, as the entire place was shaking, as the knees of Itachi and Kisame started to tremble. Her and the Shikaku's under my protection. If any one of you go after her, I'll murder you, said Naruto, as his voice was nothing short than demonic. Kakashi was shocked as he looked up at his boy. Itachi's Sharingan reactivated as his hand was trembling. The power fluctuation was just beyond ridiculous. It made no sense. As Naruto dropped the key, I'm afraid your declaration will not change things that much. But I will still inform your declaration to the leader, said Itachi, until we see each other again. With that, all of them disappear in their own sunshine style. As Naruto quickly sent away his blade as he rushed towards Yugito, he placed her in his lap. Demon art, said Naruto. Saliva, restoration. As all the bacteria started to sizzle and burn out of her wounds, which were bad, really bad. She had lost a lot of blood. I need to find another way to administrate this jutsu, because I would be damned if I have to do this in a guy, said Naruto, as he successfully healed her legs, just like what he did with Uncle, as he did the same thing on her left thigh as well. She started to stir, as she blinked, her eyes trying to focus on his face. Nah, Naruto-kun, she said. His form was still recognizable, despite her being in a foggy state. He sighed in relief. Hey, welcome back, he said. She reached up as she took his face in her arm, as she stroked his whisker marks, a small smile on her face, as Naruto's body trembled a bit, and she noticed that, ever since his rebirth, his whisker marks and his tails became so sensitive. It was just too much. Natsuma was the only one that knew about it, and she always teased him that way. Thank you. It was good of you to come in front of me as Naruto-kun. Can you stay in this state for a longer while, Angel, she said. Angel? Naruto blinked in confusion. She thought that she died. Yugito, shh, she said. I never got my chance with him while I was alive. So I figure, what the hell, she said, as she pulled his face down and kissed him. As Naruto was surprised at the action, given what she just went through. She really thought that she was dead though. The kiss was full of all of her emotions. Regret, fear, happiness, love, sadness. And he could not find in himself to disappoint her. So, he allowed it to happen. As they finally broke apart. That was amazing. I wonder if that is how Naruto-kun would have felt as well, she said. And she giggled. Thank you, she said. I'm ready now. As Naruto chuckled, as he flicked the tip of her nose. What I was gonna say before you kissed me is that you're not dead. You fell unconscious on blood loss. I was able to heal your wounds. As Yugito wondered if she was hearing things or not. What did he mean that she was not dead? Wait, she had felt weak, and she felt everything fading away. Did she just fell unconscious? And that mean this wasn't an angel. So if she was still alive, that mean bingo, said Nibe, who was busy helping heal her wounds, and was finally able to talk now that she was out of that dire situation, as she burst out laughing, as Yugito couldn't believe what was going on. So, he's real. You know I'm never gonna let you live this down, right? I mean, that was just beyond hilarious, Nibe said. Yugito was still too shocked to say a single word. After a few minutes, she just went still. You alright? Said Naruto. Do you finally believe that you're still alive? He said. She turned her face into his stomach, tried to hide herself, wishing she could just vanish. After that embarrassing moment, we can talk about it later, he said. You need to get a transfusion, he said. You lost a lot of blood, and I need to give it to you before bringing you back to the hospital. I don't want you to fall sleepy until that time. You promised me, remember? And she remembered quite clearly. I'm sorry, she said. It's alright, he said. I'm just glad that you're alright. You got me really worried. I thought I lost you for a while there. Thank you for saving me, Naruto-kun, she said. You aren't out of the woods yet, Nico-chan, he said that smile. With the situation no calmer, you realize that, well, she was naked. As he turned his head, he was a gentleman after all. Unless he was given permission by Hana or Natsume, he wouldn't do something like that, and Yugito was one of his good friends. I wasn't expecting this when I felt the Harishing kunai, so I didn't bring a change of clothes for you, said Naruto. As she tried to cover herself, today was really not her day. She heard a zipper, as she felt Naruto's jacket covering her. Here, I know it's not much, he said, but it's better than less clothes. Thank you, Naruto-kun, she said, her face too red to say anything else. He saw everything, every single thing. Not a problem. Just sorry I don't have any bottoms, he said. You ready? As she nodded, he pulled his kunai and slit his wrist. Her eyes went wide. Drink, he said. Yugito didn't have a bloodlust, like certain people that had a taste for blood like uncle, but she knew that he was only trying to help her, so she obliged. First a small lick, and as she went on, something was wrong. It tastes sweet. She was confused. It had the coppery taste that all blood had, but there was a sweetness behind it. As she felt her body, no longer feeling so weak, she wondered if it was because it was a genuine demon blood. Tastes different. Lucky, said Inibe, as she sounded jealous. Okay, said Naruto. You should be alright until I can get you to proper medical treatment. As she sat up slightly, still looking a bit, well, nervous, realized that she wasn't wearing anything underneath the shirt, and it didn't go all the way down, so she had to push it down, but still. He'd already seen everything, but it was still so embarrassing. As she got to her feet, as Naruto decided to sweep the chamber, to see if there was anything that he missed. When she got and turned around, she got a view of what he was wearing. Considering that he took off his jacket, he was only wearing his white shirt. And the way it hugged onto him, it got her feeling all sorts of way. Hey, kitten, can you let me out? Just for about 10 minutes, please, said Nime. After everything that just went on, I don't think that this is the proper time. Of course you will deny me the fun that I want, said Nime. God damn it, Natsume is so lucky. If I just had a good 30 minutes with him, man, it would, well, at least I have some blackmail on you now. You're always blackmailing me. I can at least tell Natsume that you have these thoughts about your mate, Yugito-chan. You okay? Said Naruto as she turned. Oh yes, I'm fine, she said. She then realized he couldn't see her because his headband was over his eyes. Naruto-kun? Oh, this, said Naruto. Well, let's be honest, I can't stop myself from looking, so I figured that this would be the best way, he said. And I was gonna carry you. She smiled. At least he was being honest. Thank you, she said. Although a small voice in her mind was, well, wanting to look. A very small voice, and it wasn't Nibe. No, hop on, said Naruto as he crouched down. She hesitated a bit before climbing onto his back. His tails wrapped around her legs, as she shivered at the contact. As he held onto her tight. I have your kunai, and the scroll for Isma in my pouch, she said. So just point to Kumo and hold on. Yes, she said. She pointed west, and like that they were gone. But guys, if you ain't subscribed right here, if you want to see the next person to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, stay tuned for the brand new episode coming over Anime King and Anime King 2. And if you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what you want every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.